Joining us for tonight's interview is the 48th mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, everyone! Put it up for him! Hello! Please have a seat. Jacob Frey, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
I'm having a ball, Jonathan. How are you?
I'm having a show.
Clearly.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We're really lucky to have you. And we know that you were just elected this past November.
Yeah.
And so you've only been mayor for a few months. And we just want, sometimes I know some audiences, it takes a while for them to get accustomed to new elected officials. So we have some visual cues that might help remind people that you are the mayor.
Thank God.
So if you just don't mind one moment, we just have
the big scissors.
Can you put on this hat?
I can. Yeah.
This tiny little hat, and if you could put on this sash as well. And then, we can't start the interview unless you.
See, I was planning on wearing my red sash today, but I thought that was off limits. But in fact, no, sash is very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that you're ready, I think we can start the interview. But beforehand, we actually have a red ribbon.
You're holding it wrong, Jonathan. You're holding it wrong. Yeah.
I've never held elected office, so I have no idea. If you could show me the correct posture. All right.
You ready?
You are the mayor. Go ahead.
Okay, well, before we generally cut the ribbon,
here we go.
We do a traditional hip hip hooray. Are we in?
Right.
Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! And now we cut it. Hey!
Excellent. I'm going to put the scissors over there. You can keep the rest on.
Thank God.
Wow, that feels great. Is that why you got into this?
Exactly. Yeah, I have my own pair of big. Funny, people always ask, "Are you going to bring the big scissors, or should we?" Like I carry around these big scissors everywhere I go, and I just slide them out of my pocket and snip things.
I've seen enough cartoons to know that is a mayor's responsibility.
It clearly is.
Primary responsibility. So, why did you want to be mayor in the first place?
Well, to be clear, I wanted to be mayor of Minneapolis, not Edina, where every horse has a horse, and the biggest exports are caviar and diamond cleaning or whatever.
So it was about the city rather than the title. Okay.
No, I love Minneapolis. I do, and I wanted to make sure that every bit of potential here was realized.
All right. Yeah. Excellent. And so you ran against both an incumbent and multiple other candidates who have also held elected office. Why do you think voters eventually chose you back in November?
Jonathan, I have no idea. You're the political analyst. You tell me, man.
Political analyst is not maybe the most accurate word.
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Run with it a little bit here.
Can I quote you when I talk to my mom?
Yes, you can.
His words, not mine.
Comedian, political analyst.
So what's the difference? Prior to being mayor, you represented the
booming
downtown,
third ward.
The booming third ward. It's now booming because we're in it right now.
We are just outside of it. We're like 3 blocks outside.
Oh, we're close. I apologize. Yeah. So, why did you want to take the step from city council person to become mayor? Was it just for the better bathrooms? Just so people can photograph you while riding a garbage truck? Was that the main reason?
Well, first of all, I'm not aware that I even have my own bathroom, and I'm a huge proponent of public bathrooms. Second off, I would have.
You walk outside of City Hall and use a porta potty. Is that
all
right?
the time? Yeah. Huge proponent of porta potties. I know them well. I was a distance runner, and we know porta potties better than anybody. We do.
All right.
Yeah, no, I have a very results-oriented approach, and what I love about city governance is you can have this direct and tangible impact on people's lives. If there's an affordable housing crisis, we can kind of do something about it. If there's bad police-community relations, we can help to ensure that there's accountability. You know, if there are certain communities that are being left behind, we can make sure that they're not. And that's what I love about it. City governance is something different entirely. And in all seriousness, like, I love it.
Well, that's good, because that's your life now.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
If you didn't love it, that would be a problem. But speaking of those issues, the city just released its 2040 comprehensive plan.
Yeah! That deserves a round of applause.
So for those of us, the few of us who have not read it, apparently, what are some of the things that you want to see happen in Minneapolis by 2040, presumably around the time that President Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is finishing his second term?
That's right. I'm a big supporter of The Rock Johnson, by the way, only if the vice president is Tom Hanks, but I'm there anyway.
Yeah. So what are some of the main things outlined in that?
Yeah. So this is a big vision for where ultimately we want to be as a city by 2040. You know, do we want like homogeneous, segregated neighborhoods, or do we want neighborhoods where you've got 1,000 different ideas and backgrounds at the table? You know, do you want public transportation where you don't have to own a car? Or do we want all of us just with our single-family homes and the white picket fence in the suburbs? That's what we're pitching. I agree. You know?
Okay. Hates fences,
yeah. You know, no, and so this is about, you know, we want affordable housing in every area of the city. We don't just want it in North Minneapolis. Yes, we want it there, but we also want it in Southwest Minneapolis. We want it in downtown. We want it in Northeast. We want housing so that people who are experiencing homelessness have that next rung on the ladder to pull themselves out. And we want a vision for what a real awesome city can be. And that's what this comp plan is about, comprehensive plan. You know, it's the cool lingo.
Yeah. I was like, wow, someone's cool in my presence.
Yeah, I am.
So I mean, you alluded to it that, I mean, Minneapolis and the Twin Cities and Minnesota in general have some of the largest racial disparities in Minnesota, in the country rather. In terms of educational attainment, housing access, and income. Why is that, and what do you plan on doing to change that?
Well, this was intentional. You know, this is due to 100 years worth of intentional segregation. This is 100 years worth of redlining, 100 years worth of separating communities of color from some of their most vital assets, like, say, the riverfront by like a massive highway and a whole lot of heavy industrial. And it's led to where we're at today. It's a whole lot of other things beyond that, too. But we have the ability now to push back on some of those racist policies of the past. And you know, let's be real. Like our new American community, our communities of color. I mean, these are like some of the best creative class artists, entrepreneurs, CEOs that our city has to offer right now. We need to be championing that and embracing it.
Absolutely. Now, speaking to those policies, you have received some criticism for your plan to increase the number of Minneapolis police officers from some members of the community. What do you say to that in response to those criticisms?
Well, you know, police-community relations is something we need to attack now. We need a shift in the culture of the police department. We need to ensure that there's accountability. But we also need to make sure that officers actually have the time to have the positive police-community relations that we're all talking about. And right now what's happening is a lot of them are just running from 911 call to 911 call. They're 45 minutes late to one, they're 30 minutes late to the next. Every interaction they have is poor. You know, increasing the size of the force is not about like just having some like brutalist, let's arrest everybody mentality. This is about let's build positive community police relations that we always talk about. And so we do have the ability to get it done, but it comes along with accountability, it comes along with the culture shift, it comes along with like, you know, we have a body camera policy, we have body cameras, turn the damn things on, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a good point. As the mayor, the Minneapolis Police Force answers to the chief of police, but ultimately to you. Right. How can we get those body cam policies enforced?
Well, we've actually got a new body camera policy that is going to be finished by later this week. It will be released by next week along with kind of an escalating discipline program. So it's a matrix that shows you if you don't turn it on, here's what happens. I mean, so we want to be really clear. You know, I'm someone who expects a lot from our police officers, and if we're going to expect a lot from our police officers, we also need to make sure that they can succeed. This is something that is going to work both ways, where police and community need to be interacting in a positive way. Right now, people don't trust the cops, especially communities of color, and we got a lot of work to do to repair that relationship.
All right. Well, so thank you. what do you think is the biggest threat to Minneapolis, the obstacle in its way to achieving the plan set out in 2040, aside from the impending war with St. Paul? I mean, are you ready to take on Melvin Carter? I just have to ask it. We're all thinking it.
I don't even know what that means, but
you know what it means.
I've joked, half seriously, half joking. That guy he's better looking than me. He's smarter than me. The only thing that I got going for me is I get to be the mayor of Minneapolis.
You hear that, Melvin Carter?
That's right.
You want to refute it? Come on our show.
That's right. I'll note too. We're both runners. He was a national class sprinter. Up to about 400 meters. I was a national class distance runner, and so maybe there's some distance there in between where we could get after it.
So you're saying that what it takes to be a mayor of a major city is to just run well?
Race. That is basically what I'm saying. But to answer your question, I'll actually answer the question. What is the most important thing about this comprehensive plan? Here's what it is, and I need your help on this, by the way. So we talk a whole lot about creating additional housing options. And it's funny, everybody's for affordable housing conceptually. Everybody's for it, they might have voted for Bernie Sanders and they voted for Barack Obama, but as soon as you start proposing any affordable housing anywhere in the vicinity of where they live, they freak the shit out. And that's what we need to push back on right now. We need to allow additional housing options throughout the city. And yeah. And, yes, that means growth. Yes, that means some form of density. Yes, that means an alternative that includes single-family homes. It includes duplexes. It includes fourplexes.
Gasp.
Gasp. I know, my God. And this is kind of like the new way of thinking, because it's a new way of thinking about things. Because the goal, the American dream, is no longer the white picket fence out in Edina, where every horse owns a horse and you have a 45-minute commute into work. That is not the vision anymore. And what this is about is kind of creating the next step here, and we got to take it.
All right. So I have one last thing. I have a list of prospective policy ideas that I came up with.
I can't wait.
And
they've been great so far. So.
Yeah, I'm a policy analyst.
Yeah, clearly.
And I need you to tell me whether this is a good idea or a bad idea.
Bring it on.
Since you're mayor, this counts as policy. It's official.
Yeah.
First one, easiest, rent control.
Bad.
All right. Giving everyone in Minneapolis a cat.
Visionary.
Storing all Minneapolis cat litter boxes in St. Paul.
Innovative.
U.S. Bank Stadium.
No.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
A Nicollet Avenue streetcar.
Nah.
What does that mean? You're not my mom. You can't just say,
that's a pass. That's let's move on to the next question.
Next question is putting a Kmart at every intersection.
How about a fourplex?
All right. That segues into my next question. Tearing down every apartment building and replacing it with a surface parking lot. How do you feel?
Evil.
We've already started doing it as you've been in the studio.
It's happening now.
Crews all across the city.
Right. Tear down Paradise, put in a parking lot.
And I think this one will really speak to you. Building a permanent zip line over the Mississippi River.
Oh, rock on. I like it.
Mayor Frey, thank you so much for coming on the show.
So
Everyone, Mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube video. Make sure you click subscribe to watch the best Minnesota political satire around.